Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. You can't make it up, man. You simply cannot make it up. So, as you guys know, yesterday was the Super Bowl. But the biggest story about the Super Bowl is not even the damn game itself, right? Which I didn't pay much attention to, if I'm being frank. I watched the first half, but I was really waiting to see the halftime show. I didn't really care too much about the game. It was like 6-0. I'm like, man, I ain't watching this no more, man. But no disrespect to the NFL fans, but yeah, I wasn't feeling that. But anyway, but the main event, the most talked about thing was the Super Bowl. I mean, the halftime show, right? Because of all of the storylines surrounding Bad Bunny and the president and all of that, right? So that's the thing that everybody was tuning in to see. Obviously, it was going to be a Super Bowl halftime show performed in Spanish, so people like myself couldn't understand it, but I didn't care because I was ready to party. So I tuned in to see the show, as I'm sure many of you have already. I thought it was an excellent show, and then Lady Gaga performed as well, and she sang in English. So the show finished. I did a show reacting to it on my politics channel, which is growing very, very fast. Though, like, shout out to supporters over there. So as I was doing the show, Mitch sends me over a post. He's like, yo, Bad Bunny dissed LeBron James. I'm like, what? He dissed LeBron James? And apparently Sportskeeda found the post, because then I actually heard the sound, which we're not going to play because I don't want the copyright, but he did diss LeBron. But the way he said it, I didn't understand what he said. So let me show you the image of it here. It says, this is from Sportskeeda Basketball. It says, PFNR, Land of Barea, the one who was champion before LeBron, Bad Bunny during the Super Bowl halftime show, and I fell off my chair. Like, everybody started laughing about it, like, because it's a joke, right? It's an absolute joke. So just when you thought that it couldn't get like that's as far as it would go, JJ Barea ended up taking a shot at LeBron because he posted it on his Instagram of Bad Bunny dissing LeBron James. And I'm like, you can't make this up at this point. So what we want to do is, I took some screenshots. I want to show it to you. So take a look at the images here. And as you can see it, he's posting it at LeBron and all of that, right? So that's great. Now, let me give you guys my thoughts about this. I got a few thoughts. First of all, no one seems to respect LeBron James. It's just crazy to me. You know what? This respect that LeBron has, I feel like, is only within the NBA community. It's really like, they really do so much of a job to try to make sure this guy is protected and respected in the NBA. You got people that twerk it up for him every single day. NBA players, content creators, media personalities, you name them. They sit up there, twerk it up day in and day out, 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 right? Where to the point where channels like us have become like a target for them. Like, if you're not pro LeBron, whatever, right? But when you step outside in the real world, for as much as this guy is being touted in NBA media, sports media, you would think that disrespect would extend. But you go into and like, bro, they just come on, like they Bad Bunny dissing him in the play. But you know what? And I said it on the live yesterday that I did for my other channel. Here's what I think. I said that Bad Bunny did to LeBron what LeBron did to Drake. Because you can pull up pictures of LeBron and Bad Bunny hugging it up, laughing it up. Same way you can pull up LeBron and Drake. And then LeBron switched up on Drake for whatever reason, I don't know, for Kendrick. And then now Bad Bunny just did exactly to him. So ain't nobody over here feeling sorry for dude. It's just, the thing that stands out to me is just the sheer amount of disrespect this guy gets on a day in and day out basis. It's just unreal to me. You would think that LeBron would be more respected, but it's like, that's not the case at all. In terms of JJ Barea, well, JJ Barea and Dirk and Sean Marion and Jason Terry and these guys, they represent the darkest moment in LeBron's career when he went to the NBA Finals in 2011, and he put on a performance that you will never forget, like for all the wrong reasons. It was pretty bad. It was one of the most stunning things that happened. Like, when I watched it, a lot of us that watched it live, we were shocked, but a lot of us were happy because the LeBron at that point was not the LeBron that we knew when he came into the league. That LeBron was an arrogant, including the Miami Heat. Everybody wanted the Heat to lose. The only people that were rooting for the Heat to win that year were Miami Heat fans. Nobody wanted the Heat to win. And when they lost, Everyone celebrated, and they deserved to lose because they knew what they did was a bozo move. They built the super team. They ruined the NBA with that move. They know they did. That's why they were talking about not one, not two, not three, and doing a championship parade before you won the championship. So it turned off a lot of people. So a lot of us were happy to see them lose. But that year, what took place in the finals was unbelievable. And JJ Barea, I think, averaged more points in the finals than LeBron that year. It's crazy. Let me see. It's crazy. Let me see. How much did JJ Barea let me see, average in the 2011 finals? JJ Barea averaged no, he averaged 8 points. I'm talking about Jason Terry. He averaged 8.8 points, man. You could see pictures and LeBron couldn't guard him. Jason Terry, foregone conclusion. No, I think they said averaging 13. I think he averaged 13.3 points per game. He averaged 13.3 points per game. LeBron, I think, averaged it was 13 or 8.8, whatever. I think LeBron averaged 17. It was crazy, right? It was crazy. So for JJ Barea to post that, it's still smoke. It's still smoke. Now, the Nick Wrights and the Shannon Sharps and these Gilbert Arenases and all of these guys, they'll want you to forget about this and act like it never happened or act like it doesn't matter. Nah, dog, losing matters. When you're comparing it to other guys that won more, it matters. It works against you. It doesn't work for you, and we don't just overlook it like, no, it doesn't matter. No, knock it off. It does matter. It does effing matter. But for Bad Bunny to find the time to diss LeBron and somebody said, oh yeah, the song is old. Yeah, the song is old. So why did he perform it? If he had respect for the guy, you would just not have said that. You would have bleeped that out. You would have just skipped that part. He dissed him right there on the stage. Hold that. He ladiddied him. Take that with you when you're going. Take that. He ladiddied him. This is a topic that I've been eager to talk about for over the weekend, but I said, we'll talk about it on Monday. And this is a big one, right? This is a big one. As you guys know, starting this season, I was a huge supporter of the Lakers. I'm still supporting them, but I was really, really supporting the team before LeBron returned. I felt great about them. I thought they looked good. They were playing very well. And to the Lakers' credit, they were able to play some good basketball over the last 3 games where they won 3 in a row. They're 7-3 out of the last 10. And they had an excellent win over the Philadelphia 76ers. And then the last win that they had, let me see, who was the last team that they played? They played, who did they play last? They played the Golden State Warriors, but LeBron James was abysmal as late. I mean, he's averaging like 7 turnovers a game. Some crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. But nevertheless, they're the 5th seed in the Western Conference, and they're looking pretty decent. But coming into the season, there were a lot of question marks, right? But the biggest one that was answered was LeBron going to return this summer? And yeah, that was the biggest one. And then when we got the bombshell news that the Lakers were not going to be extending him a contract offer, that's when you realize that, look, there's some change ahead. And for people like me, that had been Laker fans since the early 2000s, this was a great sign because, look, it was becoming almost impossible to root for this team. Really, it was. I didn't like the antics. They drafted Bronny, another spectacle, nothing to do about winning, just all for the show. It was like a circus, right? And I'm like, when is this organization going to become serious? Finally, you drafted you traded for Luka Doncic, one of the top 3-5 players in the NBA. I just refuse to believe that they were planning on pairing him with LeBron James going into the future. It just made no sense. Why would you pair your 26, 27-year-old superstar with the guy that's 41, 42, 40? It makes no sense. No other team is doing that. So I didn't understand why I was hearing people like Dave McMenamin, Brian Windhorst, and these guys talking about the Lakers may offer him. I'm like, for what? And if they're going to offer him, is he going to come off the bench? Is he going to be playing bench player minutes, or is he going to be playing starter minutes? If he's going to be playing starter minutes, it means you're not a serious organization. And if I'm Luka Doncic, I would take a hard look at the Lakers. But over the summer, once the Lakers made that sale, you began to see things shift. What do I mean? When they made some offseason acquisitions, they didn't include LeBron James in the fold. They were having meetings about the direction of the team. LeBron wasn't included. I thought that was fantastic because they're signaling to their new superstar, hey, we're moving in this direction. And it's not the only sport that this happens. Another sport that this happens is in Formula One. I'm a huge Lewis Hamilton fan, right? He making some questionable decisions recently, but we're not gonna get into that right now. But even Lewis Hamilton had won 7 world championships with drivers' championships and world championships with Mercedes-Benz. His last year, the guy has won 7 championships, but once the guy made it clear he wants to go to Ferrari, they started prioritizing George Russell. Makes sense. He's going to be the new face of the team, right? Makes perfect sense that the Lakers did that as well. But anyway, over the weekend, Mitch sent me some information that was really welcoming. And I'm like, okay, this is fantastic because this means that the Lakers are very serious, because the news had to do with the moves that the Lakers plan to pull off this summer in terms of management. And I'm like, okay, so let's get into it. This post is from Hoops Alert and NBA Lakers Nation. It says, put up the image here. It says, the Lakers are planning a massive overhaul of their front office this summer. The organization reportedly plans to model its operation after the LA Dodgers via Dan Wokey Sports, right? This is fantastic news. Number one, the Dodgers are a winning organization right now. The Lakers were just bought out by an owner and a management group that are synonymous with winning. They're synonymous with winning. They streamline their organizations, their teams. They get rid of old players and they focus on winning now. This is what the Lakers need, a serious hand at the helm. Jeannie Buss, like her or love her, I can't understand how she kept on extending LeBron. And she's part of the reason the team went through a lot of the mess that it went through, because she gave up a lot of her control to LeBron and these guys, and they turned it into an absolute disaster, and to the point where now she was lamenting the fact that she did all of what she did for LeBron James when that Baxter Holmes ESPN report came out. She was regretting it. And I'm like, you didn't see this coming? You didn't do your due diligence on the people that you were going to be getting into bed with. You didn't check, right? You didn't check. So to me, this signifies this is a good sign for the Lakers. They need to become serious. As you guys know, they've been transfixed on ensuring that they're only signing expiring contracts and having enough cap space, because they want to make a big splash in the free agency of summer 2027. This is what I like to hear. LeBron's contract expires this year. He's not coming back. We're done with that, right? Had it been Jeannie Buss and these guys, they would probably have offered him another contract, inexplicably. But in this case, these guys said, no, enough is enough. We have a new superstar. We want to focus on building a championship team around him. And I'll say this. This may be a hot take, but I'm saying it now. I believe that this new management group is so cutthroat that if they find out that Luka Doncic is not the guy in the future, they will trade him. I'll say it once more. If they realize that Luka is not the guy to get them to the mountaintop, they'll move him too. They don't seem to be a group that's sentimental. They don't do things with they're not sentimental about things. They're not sentimental. This seems to be a results-driven ownership group. All right. And if that's the decision they make, I'll be all for it, because for you to win, you need to be serious. And as a Laker fan that's been a Laker fan since the early 2000s, before I started a YouTube channel, unlike some people that have YouTube channels and they're just miraculously Laker fans, I've always known that in order to lead that franchise, you need a special kind of guy. You need a special kind of, and it goes beyond just your skills, and you need to be a leader. It takes a specific kind of personality to lead the Lakers. They've had a few of them, and it remains to see if Luka's going to be that. But it takes a special kind of guy. When they were talking about Anthony Davis could be the guy to lead him into the future, I said, you're sadly mistaken. AD is absolutely not the guy. He's not the guy. We're going to be talking about Kawhi. We haven't done a video on Kawhi in quite some time, apart from the trade deadline news, but it's been a while since we discussed Kawhi Leonard. As you guys know, Kawhi had been my favorite player since 2016-17, right? Really liked the guy. One of the disciples of Kobe, had a similar game to Kobe Bryant to a certain extent. So it was kind of easy for a person like me, a fan of Kobe, and Jordan as well, to kind of gravitate towards a Kawhi, two-way player, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But over the last few years, it's just been utter disappointment ever since he joined the Clippers. And I was one of the people that was saying, look, the Clippers need to blow it up this season, especially when they were going through that rough patch. But miraculously, they were somehow, some way able to turn their season around in ways that even me, I can't even imagine right now, right? But And then, of course, they had the trade of James Harden. And then once that trade went down, I'm like, man, this season is over with. Well, so I thought, because Kawhi Leonard this year is having a career year. Kawhi this year is averaging, these are all career highs, 28 points per game on 50% shooting from the field, 39% shooting from three, 91% shooting from the free throw line. So he's most likely going to have a 50, 40, 90 season at this point. He's also getting you 3.7 assists, 6.3 rebounds, 0.5 blocks, 2.2 steals per game. I think he's leading the league in steals and free throw shooting with a box plus minus of 3.7. Over his last 10 games, Kawhi Leonard is averaging 27.8, 5.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists during that stretch. And if you look at his game last night that he played against the Minnesota Timberwolves, which are a good team. They are a playoff team at this point. I think they're in the 4th seed right now in the Western Conference last time I checked. He had another spectacular game. This is without James Harden and just a bunch of young guys. Think about it. This game, the Clippers only had 4 players in double digits. It was an entire team effort. There were only 4 players in double digits. 4. Kawhi, John Collins, Kobe Sanders, and Yannick Cohen. Those are the only 4 guys. And Kobe, those are only 4 guys. Kawhi Leonard scored 41 points. He did take a lot of shots, though. But he took 30 shots. That's a lot. But still, he was shot 46.7% from the field. He made 5 out of his 11 threes. He shot 45.3%. This guy's going to shoot 40% this year from 3. He shot 80% from the free throw line. He had 4 steals, and at one point, he had 3 steals in a row. 3 steals in a row. Kawhi Leonard is playing his best basketball that he's ever played. Now, what's the reason for the surge in scoring from Kawhi Leonard? Well, he made it clear that this year he was going to be attempting more threes. Customarily, Kawhi Leonard scores a lot of his points on 2s. This year, his 3-point attempts, he's averaging a career high in attempts, 7.1. He said his goal this year is to average 12 threes a game, attempts. And even though he's attempting 7.1 threes, he's making 38.9. So with the increase of the volume, he's still making a high percentage of his shots. Now, Kawhi Leonard has always been a great 3-point shooter. There was a year he shot 44% from the 3. Last year, he attempted 5. He made 41.1. The year before that, 41.7. The year before that, 41.6. So Kawhi Leonard is just one of the most efficient players. I was watching the game yesterday and some of the highlights. I was just so amazed and impressed by his footwork, especially in the low post. He caught the ball, reverse pivot, jab step, jab, turns, reverse back. He put a move on Anthony Edwards, who's an all-world defender. And I'm like, you have to be joking with me. There's no way this guy just made this shot. There's no way he just made this shot. I'm like, you can't even be serious. Now, in terms of the Clippers' outlook on the season, as I said, they've lost an all-NBA player, an all-star in James Harden. But if you look at the standings right now, the Clippers have been able to dig themselves out of a hole. Earlier, they were totally outside of the playoff picture. Now they're in the play-in picture. They're the number 9th seed, trailing the Golden State Warriors for the number 8th seed, right? So as things stand, unless they go on a incredible surge, they are a play-in team. So if you look at their schedule, they have a pretty tough schedule ahead. They're going to be playing against the Rockets 2 games in a row. They're going to be playing against the Nuggets. They're going to be playing against the Lakers. Those are very tough opponents. Kawhi Leonard is the only all-star on that team. If they're able to even win 2 of these games, that would be a miracle. A miracle, right? And if they do, then you can understand that Kawhi's playing at an MVP level. If they do that, and Ty Lue and these guys and Jeff Van Gundy and these guys are coaching their tails off, because that should not be possible. Then the schedule gets a little bit light. After that, they're going to be playing against the Pelicans. No, then they play the Magic. Then they play the Wolves, the Pelicans, the Warriors. The Clippers have a very, very tough schedule. But I think if Kawhi Leonard is even able to make it to the playoffs with this team, given the kind of year that they've been having, with losing players, starting off very slowly, him getting injured, and then finding a way to get into the play-in, that would be pretty incredible. It's not a championship team. And as a matter of fact, at the trade deadline, I thought that they were going to trade him. We even did a show with some last-minute reporting that the Clippers were looking to trade Kawhi Leonard. But then ultimately they decided not to. They kept him. And then we heard that, they're going to play out this season and then see what they're going to do in the summertime. Other reports have said they're going to try to build around Kawhi Leonard. Okay. I think they're going to evaluate their cap situation, look at what kind of expiring contracts they have, and then see who they can go after this summer. But I think Kawhi Leonard is also auditioning for, if they were looking to gain another superstar, if another guy is looking at this guy and be like, man, this guy's playing like an MVP, maybe me and him could make some noise here. But also, you have to bear in mind that he's 34 years old, right? And the likelihood of Kawhi winning another championship, especially in the Western Conference, is very unlikely because it's just really good teams. They have not been able to beat Denver. Kawhi has not beaten Denver since he's been in the Western Conference. He hasn't been able to beat Denver. He lost in 1920, and he lost again in another playoff, I think a year or two ago. They lost to the Denver is just too stout of a team. They're too stout. They can't beat them. So unless something happens, and Denver has been playing 500 basketball over the last 10 games, unless something happens and they're able to gain a real solid piece, I don't see them beating them as well. But you never know, right? If they make the playoffs this year, it will be remarkable given the talent level that the Clippers are currently playing with. But hey, I just said, you know what? Let's do a video, acknowledge them. They had a very good win yesterday against the Minnesota Timberwolves, really played well. So let's do a show about it. So these are my thoughts. What I want to know from the audience, what do you think is Kawhi and the Clippers' outlook from this point towards the end of the season? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.